Intel shares jumping 7% yesterday. We are getting rich, right? Taxpayers. Where did we get in? Where did we get in on our 10? Let's ask Ray.
We're at the beginning because it was up 40% in a month, and we were the first investors.
I love this. You know what? Politicians know how to trade stocks. They really do. No one's better. A Semaphore report that the company may take AMD as a foundry customer. Join us now, Ray Wang, founder and chairman of Constellation Research. We're rich. Where should we go to dinner? Ray, are we not? We got 10. It was like it down in the 20s, wasn't it? Or was it still in the teens?
It was in the teens, but I think Peter Luger's or Nobu's fine with me. This is getting crazy. I
mean, but I'm not sure. You immediately say this emerging industrial policy by the U.S. is definitely affecting what's happening at not just AMD and Intel, but NVIDIA, maybe even Pfizer to some extent. We are seeing some emerging industrial policy. Is some of it okay, or is you don't like any of it?
I don't know. I'm a free market capitalist, so I'm a little bit worried that this is some kind of concerted effort. But the closest analogy I could think about is when NASA had launch facilities but wasn't really delivering rockets, we opened up everything up, right? We gave it to, Blue Origin, we gave it to Tesla, we gave it to other folks so that they could actually go out and build rockets. But this is really bizarre because, I mean, Intel has still a lot of challenges, right? They've got to be able to manufacture and get plants down to 2 nanometer to compete with TSMC. They're in the situation where basically, they're going to need a lot more customers to get to the volume if we're going to let them continue to be a foundry. And it really looks like that's what we're trying to have. I think the government is really, the administration, the tech community, and Intel are really trying to create this foundry capability and giving Intel contracts for volume. And that really seems to be the game that's going on here.
So you think AMD just thought, you know what, we need these anyway? I mentioned that for 30 or 40. I remember when Sanders founded, his first name Jerry, was it? When he founded AMD years ago, and it never seemed like AMD was going to live up. They'd have spurts where, oh my God, they're getting close. Then they totally pass it. I think AMD was at 270 billion market cap, and Intel was below 100 billion at one point. Intel's catching up again.
It's catching up, but it's not because of,
No.
It's not because of themselves. It's really because other folks really need a foundry in the U.S. and industrial policy is shifting in that direction. So I think this could be one effect of what's going on with the tariffs. You have to build something in the U.S. and this may have been the commitment or deal that was actually made in the back rooms of D.C. where it said, hey, guys, we're all going to prop up Intel. If you want to do something here, you'll be exempt from tariffs. Intel will be your manufacturer of resort or at least signal that you're going to actually give Intel some volume.
You think AMD got a push?
I don't know if they necessarily got a push, but it looks like, for NVIDIA to go back and for Apple to say, consider looking at this, and from other folks to consider looking
Everybody's
at
getting
Intel.
Is it a push or we're looking to
curry favor
and make sure we're not getting slapped with tariffs potentially too? I mean, if you got to find a U.S.
tariffs,
manufacturer.
Right? I mean, at some point we're going to be in antitrust territory with NVIDIA. So I think all these folks are saying, okay, maybe we'll all work together, and this will lessen the impact or any kind of scrutiny on the antitrust side.
Wait, say that again. You think we're going to be in antitrust territory with NVIDIA? Explain that.
Well, in the long run, what we're seeing is some very interesting things in terms of how NVIDIA allocates compute. For example, if a large hyperscaler buys NVIDIA chips, there's a resale capacity in their contracts that allows NVIDIA to take up to 50% in some contracts I've seen to be able to resell capacity. And so the question is, like, how deep and how connected are all these contract relationships?
So, okay, let's walk through that, because when you have a shortage of chips and you can only give them to so many, I mean, we remember the dinner that Elon Musk and Larry Ellison had with Jensen Huang, trying to convince them to sell them, each of them, more chips. How are you supposed to do it when you're a company that can only dole out so much?
It's a very tough thing. I mean, chips are a scarce resource, but they've done some very interesting deals where they basically reserve channel capacity, where, let's say, you sell a certain number of chips to company X, and then they get in, and then NVIDIA has the ability to resell capacity on top of that, up to 50% in some of these deals I've seen.
All right, Ray, we appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know what, money burns a hole in my pocket. I'm just trying. I don't know what I want to spend my Intel winnings profits on. Do you think I don't think we're ever going to see any of those, are we? Probably.
I hope the government does remember to unload. And the good news is they don't have to deal with capital gains appreciation. So
no, they send us to right. Maybe they'll borrow against it like a billionaire. I don't expect any checks in the mail.
I want the credit swaps on that one.
Yeah, exactly. All right. See you later. Thanks, Red.
Thanks a lot.